Hello G.I. Joe fans, this is Josh Perry from the Illuminerdi, and today I have a very exciting video to show you guys today because Hasbro has kindly sent over in celebration of Yo-Jo June, which did just wrap up recently, and also the very successful launch of the very first G.I. Joe Classified Series HasLab project, the 6-inch scaled Hiss Tank, which has just reached its 16,000 goal of backers, which means it's reached every single one of its stretch goals, and it's just absolutely incredible. But in celebration of all of that and everything G.I. Joe going on right now, and also in celebration of SDCC right around the corner, they have sent this gigantic box, which I'm going to grab right now. This huge box of G.I. Joe goodies. So, let's go and take a look at what we have in here. Okay, so here is the box here, and this thing is massive. So as you can see, really cool artwork on here to promote the 40th anniversary of G.I. Joe. So of course you say right here, G.I. Joe 40th, 1982 to 2022, a real American hero. You have Yo-Jo written all over this, and you have some of that like original retro artwork on here for like Baroness in the front and the center here, and you have Cobra Commander over there, you have Scarlet over here. The back of the box just kind of continues the design, but there isn't actually any like artwork on it. Very hard to move this box, it's so big. So there's that, just, you know, kind of the same kind of artwork, but no like characters. And then of course just a little Hasbro logo there. And on the top, you have just that logo again, and you have that on the sides and on the bottom as well. So let me move this thing. You can hear stuff moving around inside. So it's not like heavy, it's just like a lot. So I'm going to try to readjust the angle here a little bit so we can show you what's inside of this awesome box. Okay, so let's go ahead and open it up. And look at that. There's a bunch of Joe goodies in here. So it actually stays open on its own pretty well. So there's just like this cardboard thing in here. It just says Yo-Jo and stuff on it. We can move that out of the way because we have classified series figures. We have a sword. We have O-ring figures. So really cool stuff here. So we'll go ahead and start over here with what I think is one of the most exciting ones personally. And that is the Python Patrol Cobra Viper figure. So this one actually is a Target exclusive in the United States, and I don't believe Target has actually shipped out these figures just yet, so this is pretty cool to get in this box. It is a little bit of a deco difference than the Cobra Viper that's going to be released in the 3-pack. That is a fan channel wide release, I think. So that is pretty cool that we have this one here. So obviously I don't have the 3-pack to compare this to because that 3-pack's not even out yet, but it's really cool to get a look at the Cobra Viper and Python Patrol. So on the side here you can see number 42, so this is pretty up there in the more recent figures in the line, and you have that gorgeous artwork. And we'll take a look at all these classified series figures in a little bit here. So we have Cobra Viper, and then from pretty much like the newest wave, I think these just started shipping out from Pulse and other retailers, we have Storm Shadow, which we've had a couple Storm Shadows already. We've had the Arctic Storm Shadow as an Amazon exclusive, and the Snake Eyes movie Storm Shadow from the movie wave. But this is like the first time Hasbro's given us like the retro classic Storm Shadow in classified. So you have I love all the different artworks that we have on these boxes from numerous different very talented artists. Really cool. So he's number 35, so he's part of the newest wave with I think one of the Cobra infantries or soldiers, one of those two, as well as this guy right here, Spirit Iron Knife, who comes with an eagle and all, very articulated eagle, which is really cool. And I love this artwork. Like, I love that kind of style of artwork, that sort of minimalistic-ish looking artwork, and it looks incredible on here for Spirit. Very cool figure in here. The only Joe we have, actually. Everybody else is Cobra, which is kind of funny. And then we have number 36 for Spirit there, right after Storm Shadow. We have a sword, which we'll get to in a second. We also have another exclusive here, which I want to take out very carefully. This is the Walmart exclusive Retro Baroness. So this is actually a 6-inch figure. It's a classified series figure on a retro card back to make it look like one of the original figures from the 1980s. So this is really cool. Like I said, this is a Walmart exclusive, this entire line of these. So you have Baroness there, which I think is pretty much the same as the one that was from the whole Cobra Island Target exclusive line. But I actually will not be opening this one. I do want to keep these on a retro card back, looking really nice. So I'll open everybody else to show them off here in this video. But we do have Baroness there, and there's a whole line of these. You can get Lady Jane, and I believe that one is Flint, and also was Flint in this line? I don't remember exactly. I know Destro's in here, and there's gonna be 2 other ones, but you have 2 silhouetted out ones, 2 non-silhouetted out ones. And you have like a whole bio back there and everything. Very, very cool. So like I said, this one is a Walmart exclusive, which I think is available now, or at least it's up on pre-order there. And then the last classified thing we have in here is a really, really cool one. We have the kind of deluxe set of Croc Master and Fiona. So we have Croc Master in there, which looks like a really awesome figure in his own right. But look at this crocodile. Fiona there looks fantastic, and I've been hearing some amazing things about the articulation on this guy, so I cannot wait to take a look at it. So this is kind of following in the footsteps of the Snake Eyes and Timber set, which they are actually doing a second version of that set, so this is the only one that is not Snake Eyes related to come with a whole animal. So that's very awesome. He's number 38 in the line. And then the final thing here, besides this giant sword that you guys have been able to see, is some of the O-Ring figures. So you have some of the O-Ring figures, which I think are Hasbro Pulse exclusives, if I'm not mistaken. So these are basically recreations of the classic figures. And in here you have kind of a Cobra Officer and a Cobra Trooper. So very just, nice ones. I think the accessories are down here in this part of the box, but we'll take a look at that. And then we do have the sword, but we also have a couple little info things, which are over here. A couple little info cards, which I meant to grab earlier and I forgot. I can't grab a hold of them. There we go. So basically this is just a little pamphlet from the G.I. Joe team talking about how they did a couple different live streams during the month of June to celebrate Yo Joe June, because that's what this box was sent out to influencers and such like that. And I'm trying not to mess up the retro card there, but that's the whole point of this box, was to promote Yo Joe June and kind of celebrate the launch of the His Tank HasLab campaign. So you have that. Oop. And I just dropped a little pamphlet thing that was talking about Yo Joe merchandise. But we have just, just some stuff about where to follow G.I. Joe on Twitter and Facebook and everything like that. You have this kind of pamphlet for the deluxe Cobra Commander helmet, which you can get from Trick or Treat Studios right now. So, just kind of a bunch of different stuff to promote the G.I. Joe brand and what is out there right now. And then the last thing in here, which is definitely the reason why this box was so big, is this really awesome Snake Eyes sword, which is really cool. It's basically like a Halloween costume kind of sword. I believe this is from the Snake Eyes movie. Yes, that is the logo right there. But yeah, I love this thing. This thing looks really, really cool. And it's a good size too. I'll kind of show it off a little bit better with me holding it towards the end. But it's just like a nice plastic sword, but it looks really cool. I love the design on it, and this is a really cool little replica thing to kind of have on your shelf or something like that if you are a fan of Snake Eyes or just G.I. Joe in general, or you really like that movie. But let's kind of clean this up a little bit and take a look at these figures in some better detail. Alright, so here's all the figures and everything out of the box, and we have a lot of really cool things to take a look at here. So, it's awesome that Hasbro sent these out to influencers and news sites and everything to really get you to see the full potential and what's available in the Classified Series line right now. Obviously, you also get the O-Ring figures to take a look at, which is really cool. But you can really tell that Hasbro's focus is on the Classified Series, and rightfully so. This is a fantastic lineup of figures to take a look at, because you have the Walmart exclusive with the retros, you have the Target exclusives with different troopers, Python Patrol, Tiger Force, that kind of stuff. You have these deluxe sets with animals. You have a Joe, an actual G.I. Joe member, and you have a Cobra member, just to kind of show you basically everything that the Classified Series has to offer. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit and take a look at everything that we have here. So Croc Master and Fiona here is a fantastic offering from Hasbro. You get so much stuff with these guys, and you get a fully articulated alligator. So Croc Master is a good figure by all means. This is a fantastic design. I love the scaling and stuff like that on the chest. There's a little bit of reuse. A lot of these Cobra figures, a lot of these G.I. Joe figures are kind of just these muscular men figures used over and over again, but it works. It's perfectly fine. So you have a lot of different holsters and everything. I love the eye and the buckle. I love this whole head design here. It makes me think of almost kind of like a Bane, like a Batman kind of thing. And of course you get the Cobra symbol there. What's really cool is he has this whole oxygen little tank thing going on here, but it does not really limit the articulation, because it is still kind of a pliable piece of plastic, and if you're really worried about it snapping or something, you actually can unhook it there, so that way you can fully use his head articulation and not have to worry about that. So that's really cool that Hasbro actually thought about that in the engineering of this figure. But for the most part, it's just a really cool design. I love the crocodile aspects of him. You have kind of the spikiness on the back and the scales on the front. It's really neat. I like what they did with it. And you get a lot of weapons for him and everything. So you get this pistol for him, you get this knife for him, you get a whole whip. So, you know, he is a crocodile trainer and everything like that. So you get this whip, and you get like a whole like leash to actually put on there. You have like this little hook as well on there. So you can, I think, wrap this around Fiona pretty good. Actually, yeah, that works pretty well. And then you can have him hold on, which is just really neat. Like, they thought of everything. And what's really cool about these figures as well is that they're really good with actually having weapon storage. So you can take the pistol, you can put that into the holster on his buckle, and then there's a little knife holster on his shin down here that you can, I think I have it backwards, you can have the knife, I think it should be able to go in there. It's not wanting to, but it should be able to do so. Yeah, there we go. So there we go. So it just took a little bit of force, but you can get all of the weapon storage on there. So you don't really have like a ton of accessories kind of just like chilling around to get lost or anything like that. They're really good about having the storage. So I'll have them stand up there. Then of course you have tiny little baby alligators, which is really, really fun, or crocodiles. So that's really cool that you have these. They're really nicely sculpted. They're not like articulated or anything like that, but they don't really need to be. They're just tiny little baby crocodiles for either him to have or her to have. But look at this thing. Like, this is incredible. So it's made of kind of a softer, kind of rubbery plastic, but you get a ton of articulation. Like, you can see all the different joints there. We have little joints in the feet and in the arms and everything. The detail is fantastic. The paint is so good. You get nice like rotation in the tail. You get kind of a ball joint there. Like, it's just really well done. Can the mouth open? You bet it can. So that is fantastic. And you get the teeth, which are like not dull, but they're also like not sharp. Like, you know, they kind of have a little bit of actual like pointiness to them. So, I mean, you have this go up against your G.I. Joes. What are they going to do against this entire crocodile? Like, look at that. Like, that is a menacing crocodile right there. It is fantastic. Like, I love this figure set, and any G.I. Joe fan is going to like this set as well. I mean, I cannot, you know, recommend this set enough. It's fantastic. It's such an awesome thing for Hasbro to throw into this box as well, because you can just really see all their engineering and all their like detailing and everything that they throw into these figures is just fantastic. Now, Spirit and Storm Shadow here are really some incredible figures, like truly, like with their accessories, with their sculpting. Like, it's incredible that these are from like the same wave of G.I. Joe figures, because Hasbro has knocked both of these completely out of the park. So I just took everything out of the box. I didn't like even fully assemble everybody yet, so you can kind of just see everything that these guys come with. But like, let's take a look at the detailing and the sculpting on Spirit Iron Knife here. I love this entire look here. They just do a really good job of like making these guys feel like fully decked out. They're ready for battle. They're ready to fight each other. They're ready to just look cool on your shelf. Like, the sculpting and the paint, like, it's just really cool. Like, he just has like this little like bomb grenade on his chest. You know, why not? So, and of course you see all these holsters everywhere for the accessories that he has and everything, which is just it's fantastic. I love how with this line you really don't have any pieces sitting around. Like, I love the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, of course, if you know anything about my work. But for that, like, you have a bunch of swappable hands and effect pieces and everything lying around that you don't have to deal with this line. So, like, taking a look at all the stuff he has a whole sniper rifle here, which looks fantastic. I love the scope and everything on there. I love a little bit of paint to have a little bit of that brown there, so like it's not just a solid piece of black plastic. You also have a couple knives, which one of them has some like sculpting paint detail on there, but they are I think different knives, which is just incredible. Like, they didn't have to do different knives for these. And you have a little pistol, which looks nice, and then you have a whole backpack, which you can see ports and stuff sticking out of, because that one's really cool. We'll get to that one in a second. But basically, you can take this backpack, and of course there is a peg hole back there. What's also nice is that a lot of these have peg holes that are pretty much compatible. So like, for example, we just looked at this one, which does not have one, so that's not a good example, but Storm Shadow here has a peg hole back here, and I believe that you could give him Spirit's backpack if you wanted to. So you do have that compatible sort of peg system on these figures. So we can take the backpack and we can just peg it in there. And then there is a peg back here. I'm not sure if there's one that matches up on the gun, but you can kind of, there we go, you can kind of fit it where the trigger is to kind of peg in the rifle back there. And then if you want to take all of the other weapons that he comes with, so like we can clean out his entire accessories here. and put them somewhere. So you have a knife holster that can fit a knife right there. You have a knife holster right here on his leg, which is a little tricky to get to, but you can use that one as well. And then you have a pistol holster over here, so you can put that one there. So there's all of his accessories, all of his weapons loaded onto him somewhere. But of course, he also has his eagle, which is fantastic. So I love this guy. He has a little bit of head articulation. Like, he's just really neat. Right here, you can move out his wings a little bit. You can move out his legs a little bit. But you can see here, you can take these off, and he has swappable wings, which just peg in. They're a little tight to peg in. And you want to be careful not to stress the plastic too much. I stressed it a little bit there, so just be a little bit careful. You don't want to ruin these. But you do have some articulated kind of, like, ball jointed wings. So you can have him fly around and look awesome. And there's tiny little pegs on his feet, because you can have him, if we line them up correctly there. And there you go, with a little bit of patience and some, balancing and everything, you can get the eagle to actually sit on the backpack. And like, you just have these extra wings left over. But besides that, everything Spirit came with is on the figure somewhere. All the weapons, the animal, everything. Like, that is just incredible. And what's really cool is that you can take the backpack off. You can not have to use it if you don't want to, but like, that just looks fantastic for a display. Like, I'm not even like the hugest G.I. Joe fan. I'm just happy I got to take a look at this box because I do collect this line. But like, these figures are incredible. Like, that's why I want, to collect this line, because I think Hasbro just does a really good job with all the detail and the love and the care put into these. And you can see here, like, look at all the wraps. I love that, like, kind of weathering texture that they have on Storm Shadow here. And like, all the nice paint with the little shurikens and everything. You can't remove the shurikens or anything like that, but this looks fantastic. And they have a lot of cool accessories for him, so you can add, it's a little tricky, but you can add like an extra hood to the figure, which I was trying to put on upside down. That's why it wasn't working. So there we go. You can kind of just add a little bit extra wrappings there, which kind of try to line that up a little bit better so you can still see his eyes. So that's a cool little piece to have there. Of course, you have a nice peg back there for this awesome contraption here. So you can peg this into his back like so. And you can see a bunch of extra arrows in there. And I didn't even notice this until now. Oh, this is incredible. So it comes with an arrow, right? So let me show off everything properly. So it comes with an arrow, which is very nicely detailed and painted. You have this entire bow, which looks very, very nice. Now, you can take the arrow. There's a little notch right there in there. And you can clip the arrow into the bow, so you can have him posed to actually fire it. Or if you don't want to lose this arrow, you have this whole quiver of arrows back here. There is a slot on the top, so you can put in the arrow that is actually usable, and it just blends right in with the rest of the arrows. And then, if that wasn't cool enough, also there's this little piece which came separately in the box. It's just like a little ribbon piece for his belt. So you can just peg that in there. It's a little tricky, but that should just peg right in there. That we have a little bit of articulation on that, which is cool. He has two katanas, which do have holsters back here. So you have the longer katana for that one, and you have the smaller one for that one. And then you can take the bow, and there is a clip. I think it's the one right here in the like holder of the thing. And there, you can have the bow, you can have the swords, you can have the arrow, and you can have the little hood on there, and that's it. Like, Storm Shadow has everything. All of his accessories are on his figure somewhere. Like, wow. Like, I'm blown away by these two figures. And this is the same wave. Like, these are, figures that are just now shipping from Hasbro Pulse and other online retailers, and should be hitting stores hopefully soon. But like, I cannot recommend these two figures enough. They are fantastic. And the final classified series figure we have to take a look at is the Target exclusive Cobra Viper figure, which looks fantastic. I love the paint scheme on this guy and everything like that. I love even the paint on there. Like, it just looks really cool. I like this whole color scheme we got going on here. Now, of course, he has this nice backpack, just like a lot of the other figures. This one doesn't really have any clips or anything to plug anything into, because there's just not really anything he needs to do so, which is, kind of not really, disappointing, but just kind of interesting that there's really nothing to actually use the backpack for. Now, you do get these really cool pair of goggles, which are a little tight, a little tough to get onto the helmets, but they are supposed to kind of just maybe I have them upside. No, I definitely don't have them upside down. So they're supposed to kind of just clip in. They are kind of rubbery, so like you can have them be a little pliable, but I also don't want to like rip them or anything. But they should just be able to kind of rest onto the helmet, something like that. So that probably won't stay very long, but you do kind of have that look going on there. You do get this whole rifle here, which does have a slot for this little magazine that is included. So I might have that upside down, but you can get that to clip in there. You also have a tiny little pistol. So there's no big holster for his bigger gun, but there is a holster for the pistol on his belt there, or on his shin. And then you can kind of just try to get him to hold this. It's gonna be a little tricky. There go the goggles, but he does have some, trigger fingers and everything like that. So there is definitely a lot of design in there, intentions for him to hold these, of course. But it's a good figure, so if you can get your hands on this one, I definitely recommend this one as well. But since it is a Target exclusive, it is a little harder to get this one, and they have not started to ship pre-orders out for this just yet, but hopefully soon. Now, also, speaking of exclusives, we have, I believe, Hasbro Pulse exclusives here. We have these retro-carded Cobra enemy figures of the Cobra Officer and the Cobra Trooper. So these are fantastic. So they actually, I showed off this box here. These are recreations of the original O-Ring figures. So inside this box, in the big component of it, you get 2 retro carded figures. So I'm also not going to open these just yet because I want to just kind of nicely preserve how they look on the card. But I think a lot of collectors might want to do that as well. But they look fantastic. They're just recreations of the original 80s figures. And I love how they went ahead and recreated the whole card back. Like, it looks really cool. And they have a bunch of these that you can get on Hasbro Pulse. I believe everyone that are like these ones that are O-Ring recreations, I believe are Hasbro Pulse exclusive. So there is that. Looks really good. And then in the kind of bottom component down here, this little part of the box, you get some more accessories, I believe is what these are. I think these are more guns and stuff like that for them. I did not try to open to see what these ones are, but they are just in this tissue paper here because Hasbro's trying to move away from the whole, plastic in the packaging. So yeah, there's like some weapons in there. There's a little stand in there. So, just some more weapons and everything for these retro carded figures if you actually want to open them and take them off of their retro card backs, which, like I said, I'm not going to do, but you can do that if you want to. And it's cool that you have this kind of newer box with more accessories and everything, but you still have the retro look to it to remind you of the classic figures from the 80s. Alright, now that I'm back at the desk, here is the Snake Eyes sword in better detail. So I think it's pretty nice. I really do like this a lot. It's a nice scale and everything like that. Here, I'll get up and kind of pose with it, right? So here is the Snake Eyes sword. I think it's pretty cool. I definitely recommend getting this for any G.I. Joe fan. It's just a nice little thing to kind of have as like a costume piece or like a cosplay piece or a display item. Whatever you want to do with it, I think it's pretty cool. So on behalf of the Illuminerdi, huge thanks to Hasbro for sending over these free G.I. Joe products to take a look at here on the channel today in celebration of G.I. Joe's 40th anniversary and Yo-Jo June. Of course, you guys can check out G.I. Joe on all of their official accounts such as Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And of course, you can also check out full episodes of the fan favorite series on the Hasbro Pulse YouTube channel right now. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, Yo-Jo!